Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Lovish and I'm the founder of Scentira. Today we are going to talk about different perfume jargon that exists. My attempt is simple to make you understand what they really mean so that you can look into the eye of a perfume snob. But on a serious note, understanding the meaning of these words can really help you make a better decision. Also, it just makes the journey much more enjoyable because you can then enjoy the finer intricacies of the art of perfumery. So let's deep dive into it. Okay, so first up, let's understand what is sillage. It is something which, if missing, the Kareena Kapoor from K3G will go like,
कौन है ये जिसने दोबारा मुड़ के मुझे नहीं देखा?
Well, actually it is a French word which means the trail that leaves behind when you're walking. So if a perfume has a good sillage, whenever you walk around someone or there's someone around you, they will feel, they can smell that perfume around you. And of course, a good sillage means that, people will notice you, and if they like it, they'll compliment you. So one perfume that I really love because of its sillage, and specifically in this winter season, is Louis Vuitton's Ombre Nomade. I've repeatedly mentioned it because it is one of my favorite fragrances, but you're sure to be noticed when you're wearing that fragrance. Second is, what are the differences between an EDP, EDT, cologne, parfum, etc. There's so many different words that are being used by the brands. But to understand in a very simple term, it is basically the perfume oil concentration in a particular perfume. So if the mildest would be eau de cologne, then there's EDT, then there's eau de parfum, and then there's parfum, and then there's extrait de parfum. So there are different concentrations. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that parfum is always better than an EDT, right? Because it may be better in terms of, let's say, longevity, which is also not true in all the cases. But there are certain fragrances which are meant to be enjoyed in their EDT format. When you take them to the parfum or or a different concentration, even the notes change because the ratio proportions change of the different oils. So one could very well enjoy an EDT compared to an extrait de parfum. Now let's understand what is projection, and while we're at it, we'll also understand what's the difference between projection and longevity. Now, projection is basically the throw of a perfume, right? Now, if let's say someone 5 feet away from me can smell the perfume that I'm wearing, that is basically the projection of a perfume. Now, perfume can be strongly projecting or mildly projecting, and you shouldn't always, chase a strong projection perfume because it entirely depends on the occasion that you're into. So if you're with, let's say, your girlfriend, then best advice that you wear something which is mildly projecting, because only a person who is into your intimate space can really, notice it. The rest is, of course, up to you. Then longevity, as the name suggests, is basically how long the perfume lasts, and this is something which is, I think, at the top most criteria for many people who just get into perfumes or also are already into perfumery. The next one would be a gourmand fragrance. Now, a gourmand fragrance is a fragrance having notes that remind you of something edible. Mostly it is vanilla, honey, fragrance that would remind you of, let's say, a bakery. So all these fragrances are categorized into a gourmand fragrance. I personally also like it, and there are certain seasons when one really enjoys wearing a gourmand fragrance. Let's understand different layers of a perfume. There's a top note, there are middle note, and there's a base note. A good perfume should ideally have, a journey that it takes you while you're wearing a perfume. Right at the start, in let's say 15, 20, 25 minutes, you get certain notes, and then you get the middle notes, and then the dry down phase comes where you experience the base notes. And that is what makes the entire, journey or, the thing about wearing a perfume enjoyable. Because you get little whiffs of, different notes at different times, and that can remind you of a certain memory, can uplift your mood. And that is what makes the whole experience of, wearing a perfume so enjoyable and so memorable. Next time you buy a perfume, you could read about the different notes it has. If you like certain note, look for those perfumes. You can differentiate between the different concentrations, EDT, EDP, the things we talked about. And at the end, your nose is the best judge, but just don't go for a full bottle unless you've tried it. Get a decant from Scentira, make a wise decision. If you like it, go for a full bottle. And lastly, let's just discuss a few terms that are thrown around here and there. Maybe you've heard it from a friend of yours or a YouTuber, etc. So basically, one would be the different fragrance families that exist. So there are basically 4 fragrance families. One is your floral, woody, oriental, and fresh. And they're very simple. You don't really need to geek out on them. Just, if you have 4 or 5 or any perfume at your home, Google what family it belongs to, and then your brain can remember, अच्छा कि Oriental ऐसा कुछ smell करता है. And over time, when you experience and smell different perfumes, you can categorize them. But at the end, you don't really need to know these terms because your nose is the best judge. If you like a fragrance, you like it. If you don't, then you don't. And fragrance families don't really, help you like a particular fragrance. Their purpose is to categorize. So if let's say you like a fragrance and it belongs to a woody fragrance family, then if you need more recommendations, you could tell someone that, hey, I like woody fragrances, and that person can, recommend you better, because there's a plethora of fragrances and it's so difficult to suggest anyone a particular fragrance. So, knowing these words, having knowledge of these can really help you land, to a better fragrance and not making a decision that you regret. Yeah, that's about it. Hope you liked the video. If you have anything to offer or a question or say, please leave it down in the comments. And before you leave, like this video, share this with anyone who may need it, and subscribe to our channel, and also hit the bell icon. And I'll see you in the next one.